On this edition of Sightings, it began as a mysterious phenomenon in a small Midwestern town and soon became the most famous haunting in America.
Oh my God, look, it's forming right there.
Now, Sightings reconnects with the Heartland ghost.
Sally, I'm back.
This image of these four beings just moved through this wall. They just, like it wasn't there.
Sightings didn't start out as a regular weekly show that people could watch every Friday night. It actually began with one exciting television special that aired on Fox on October 17, 1991.
Crop circles related to flying saucers.
How could anything do that without it didn't come out of the sky?
Have humans been in contact with extraterrestrials?
The creatures were laying like this.
This special was all about reports of flying saucers, UAPs, and close encounters with out-of-this-world visitors, or ETs. It was called The Report on Sightings, and it was put together by some really interesting people who cared a lot about these topics. Executive producer Henry Winkler, who many people know as the Cool Fonz character from the old Happy Days show, worked with Ann Daniel and brought in researcher Linda Moulton Howe, who had spent years looking into mysterious sky sightings and other strange happenings that didn't have easy explanations. The special focused on real stories from real people, including pilots and military personnel who had seen things in the sky they couldn't explain, along with some puzzling cases involving animals that made some folks wonder if they might be connected to spacecraft or out-of-this-world visitors in some way. What made this special feel different right away was how it was presented. It wasn't full of big scary music or actors pretending to be terrified. Instead, it used a calm journalistic style with interviews, on-location footage, and just enough explanation to let the stories speak for themselves. Hosted by Tim White.
Do ghosts exist? 1 in 10 Americans claims to have seen or been in the presence of a ghost. Are these people dreaming, hallucinating, or are they actually experiencing spirits from another dimension? Hello, I'm Tim White. I'll be your host for Sightings. Tonight,
a real investigative reporter who had won awards for his careful work and even served in the Air Force Reserve, the special carried a feeling of trust and seriousness. Tim White spoke in a steady, friendly way that made you feel like you were learning something important rather than being told what to believe.
claim to have been forcibly taken away by extraterrestrials.
The ratings were strong, and Fox executives realized there was a real audience hungry for this kind of thoughtful look at the unexplained. By April of 1992, they gave the green light for Sightings to become a regular half-hour series airing on Friday nights.
A home video is taken of a massive sea creature. Witness new evidence that could prove modern-day monsters do exist on an all-new Sightings Friday.
And that's when the real adventure began for families all across the country. Tim White's calm and professional presence was a huge part of why Sightings felt so trustworthy and special, especially for younger viewers like I was back then. He didn't use a loud, dramatic voice like some hosts on other mystery shows. Instead, he spoke like a friendly guide or a favorite teacher who was genuinely curious about every story. He would open episodes with a simple, "Welcome to Sightings, I'm Tim White," and then walk viewers through eyewitness accounts, expert thoughts, and real investigations without ever making fun of the people sharing their experiences or acting like he had all the answers. This straightforward approach made even the most surprising reports feel worth listening to with respect. Behind the scenes, Tim White did a lot more than just read from a script. He helped shape the questions, talked to many of the witnesses himself, and made sure the show stayed true to its goal of exploring mysteries rather than proving or disproving everything. Executive producer Henry Winkler brought real passion to the project because he truly believed these topics deserved serious attention. Even though the budget wasn't as big as some big Hollywood dramas, Winkler made sure the production values stayed high. The music team, including composer Bill Bodine and others like Christopher L. Stone, Michael Tavera, and Alan Ett, created a theme song and background sounds that felt both exciting and a little bit mysterious. The synth music and atmospheric tones wrapped around the stories like a gentle fog, making you lean in closer to the screen. The opening sequence with its swirling graphics and pulsing theme became something kids and grown-ups recognized immediately. It was the signal that said, "Get ready, something amazing and unexplained is about to be shared with you." What really made Sightings stand out from other shows at the time was its unique format. It was like a smart mix of a news magazine show and a real-life field investigation all in one. Most episodes had 2 or 3 different stories, and the crew actually went out with cameras to the places where the mysterious things had happened, instead of just talking about them in a studio. For stories about flying saucers and UAPs, viewers got to see interviews with pilots who described glowing objects that hovered silently and then zoomed away faster than any airplane they knew.
Unidentified flying objects. In the next hour, we'll hear from people who have had close encounters with extraterrestrials. Close encounters of the first, second, third, even the fourth kind. The most common is a close encounter of the first kind.
There might be radar recordings, drawings made by witnesses right after seeing something strange, or even government documents showing that other people had reported similar sightings. It felt like being part of the investigation yourself. For ghostly encounters in old houses or historic buildings, the team would walk through those locations at night using special equipment.
Plus, a sightings update. Will the Heartland ghost strike again?
I think there is perhaps a lost soul or a spirit that is trying to communicate.
Among its most famous cases was the notorious Sally House in Atchison, Kansas, where residents Tony and Deborah Pickman reported frightening paranormal activity.
It's happening here, somewhere in America's heartland. The family has asked that we not say exactly where they live, but spirit, ghost, entity. It has many names. First signs of something out of the ordinary began when the young couple moved into this 128-year-old house in January of 1993. At first, the haunting activity was subtle and only seemed to be occurring in one small bedroom at the top of the stairs. Pamela and Jeff had a weird, indefinable feeling that something wasn't quite right. Barbara believes that the blurs and streaks in dozens of family photographs are actually a physical manifestation of Sally. The mission on this visit was to give Peter James a chance to try to communicate with whoever or whatever was plaguing the family. Would he succeed where parapsychologists had failed?
The episode helped bring the house national attention and is still regarded by many paranormal enthusiasts as one of the most unsettling hauntings ever featured on television. Sightings was also ahead of its time, pioneering interactive paranormal investigations and special broadcasts that allowed viewers to follow investigations as events unfolded, making it one of the earliest television programs to experiment with live paranormal coverage during the 1990s.
In the world's first online ghost investigation, hundreds of Sightings viewers were able to experience the haunting firsthand.
She was clearly dressed in garb that would be worn by a child at the turn of the century.
As Peter James concluded his psychic investigation, the team moved downstairs, where Sightings co-executive producer Stephen Krupnick was leading a computer forum between Sightings viewers and the investigative team. Through a live nationwide hookup, viewers could ask questions, make comments about their own beliefs, and experience the haunting firsthand through the information superhighway.
They tried to record possible voices or sounds on tape that weren't there when the recording happened, something people sometimes call electronic voice phenomena, or EVP for short.
Sounds that seem to speak from beyond the grave.
Please try to give us a message. Please tell me who is here.
They also used thermal cameras that could show heat or cold spots, which might hint that something invisible was moving around. For reports of mysterious creatures like Bigfoot or strange lake monsters, there would be plaster casts of huge footprints too big for bears, maps of where people had seen something, and calm talks with folks who lived in those areas and had no reason to make up stories. The show also explored psychic and mind power events where people seemed to know things they shouldn't have known or could influence small objects in ways that made scientists curious. And there were gentle stories about people who had very close calls with danger or the end of life and came back sharing memories of bright light, overwhelming peace, and sometimes kind messages that stayed with them. The best part was that Sightings never used cheap jump scares or actors pretending to be scared to make the audience jump. It stayed calm and respectful, inviting everyone watching to think for themselves and draw their own conclusions. In the 1990s, when cable TV was growing fast and more people were craving real stories instead of just made-up ones, this approach filled a special spot. It was entertaining without ever feeling mean or exploitative, and mysterious without turning into pure fiction. It felt like permission to be curious about the world without being laughed at for asking big questions. The show found its audience quickly on Fox during those first 2 seasons from 1992 to 1993.
You might not believe in UFOs right now, but after Friday, you will.
Are you seeing this thing zip back and forth?
Get the facts behind the sightings and meet a former government scientist who has actually examined alien spacecraft at this secret military base.
I know what mainstream science is like. This technology is hundreds and hundreds of years in advance of us.
Get the story the government doesn't want you to see. The UFO Report, Sightings, a special presentation Friday.
Friday nights became something families actually looked forward to, almost like an appointment you didn't want to miss. After a long week at school or work, people would settle in with snacks and wait to see what mysteries Tim White and the team would explore next. The respectful, thoughtful tone helped Sightings stand out during a decade when other shows were mixing made-up stories with conspiracy ideas in exciting but very different ways. Kids at school would talk about the latest episode the next day, sharing which story gave them the biggest chills or made them wonder the most. It was a time before everyone had a phone in their pocket with instant answers, so television was still one of the main places where families could discover new ideas together. The team worked hard traveling to meet witnesses, checking facts carefully, and making sure every segment gave viewers enough information to think about on their own. Even with budgets that were smaller than big network dramas, the episodes always looked professional and felt important. When Fox decided after 2 seasons in 1993 that it was time to make some programming changes and canceled the series, fans were sad, but the producers weren't ready to give up on something they believed in so strongly. Instead of letting the show disappear, the team made a smart move and took Sightings into first-run syndication for seasons 3 and 4 from 1994 to 1996. Syndication meant the episodes could air on lots of different local TV stations all across the country instead of just one big network channel. To make the most of this new chapter, they also made each episode longer, a full hour instead of just 30 minutes. That extra time was wonderful because it let the team tell deeper stories, include more interviews, show more of the actual locations, and even give updates on cases from earlier episodes. It felt like getting the extended version every single week with more room to breathe and explore. It kept the momentum going strong even as the television world was getting more and more crowded with new cable channels popping up everywhere. Then in 1996 came another exciting new home for the show, the Sci-Fi Channel, which is now called Sci-Fi, picked up Sightings for its 5th and final season. It made so much sense. A channel dedicated to science fiction, space stories, and big what-if ideas was the perfect place for a show about flying saucers and all the other mystery Sightings loved to share. Being on cable gave the team a little more freedom to try longer stories and special presentations. That year, they even made a special behind-the-scenes episode where Tim White and Henry Winkler talked honestly about what it was really like creating the show every week. But the mid-1990s were becoming a very busy time for paranormal and sci-fi television. The X-Files was huge, with its mix of fiction and conspiracy ideas, and more ghost investigation specials were starting to appear.
I'm Jonathan Frakes. This program is about people who have crossed the paranormal borderline.
Reality TV was also beginning to grow, giving viewers lots of new choices about what to watch. Ratings for Sightings started to get a little softer as the market filled up with more options. In 1997, the Sci-Fi Channel made the decision to end the regular weekly episodes. Even though the main weekly series came to a close, Sightings didn't just vanish completely. In 1998, the team created 5 special 2-hour episodes that gave extra time to some of the biggest topics fans loved. Reruns of the older episodes kept playing on Sci-Fi all the way until April 2003, which meant brand new generations of kids and families could still discover the show during weekend or late-night viewing. In 2002, there was even a television movie on Showtime called Sightings, Heartland Ghost. It was inspired by the same respectful investigative spirit and followed a crew looking into a case where objects seemed to move all by themselves in mysterious but sometimes playful ways. It felt like seeing the style of the original show continue in a brand new story. There were also VHS collections released so people could own and re-watch their favorite segments about flying saucers, ghostly encounters, or psychic events. 2 books came out that expanded on the cases with even more research and background details. There was even some fun merchandise like t-shirts and posters, plus a computer program that let fans dive deeper into the topics. Some of the same talented people who worked on Sightings later helped create a 1998 special for UPN about new reports of flying saucers and spacecraft. And in 2003, a syndicated program called Unexplained Mysteries carried forward the same calm, curious journalistic approach with some overlapping team members. The heart and spirit of Sightings kept living on in different forms, showing that good storytelling has a way of continuing even when the original weekly show ends. What Sightings really left behind was something lasting and special in pop culture and in the hearts of people who watched it. It came along during a golden time for curiosity on television, connecting the serious exploration style of older programs with a fresher, more accessible feeling that welcomed younger viewers and families. It showed that you could treat people who shared strange experiences with kindness and respect, instead of making fun of them. Whether it was a pilot describing a flying saucer that moved in impossible ways, a family dealing with objects moving on their own in an old house, or someone sharing an incredible experience from a close call, the show treated every story with dignity.
Next, after 10 years of interdimensional visitors, Whitley Strieber is still searching for the truth.
It's something that we don't understand, and I want to understand it because it happens to me.
In the early 1980s, thousands of people were having strange visions of alien creatures, their own abduction, and bizarre medical experiments. They kept it a secret and feared that they were going crazy. But then a man named Whitley Strieber wrote a book called Communion about his own. It was a breakthrough for all those people who felt it was finally safe to come forward.
In the middle of the night, I woke up and found myself, instead of being in my bed, in a little cramped room with what I perceived to be long faces with big black slanted bulging eyes staring at me. A lot of noise and activity around me. Something was fired into the side of my head, a little needle, and then it was just black. And then
Whitley Strieber believes that within the next few years, there will be yet another breakthrough in the abduction phenomenon. He feels that the visitors, as he describes them, will reveal themselves in a more concrete, public way and tell us why they've come.
That respect helped viewers feel brave enough to talk about their own what-if moments without worrying about being laughed at.
A viewer captures eerie images and bizarre messages on Polaroid film. Is it an entity communicating from beyond?
And we asked him his name, and he answered.
Our special investigation reveals startling evidence that baffles photographic experts and psychics alike.
You can still find old clips and even full episodes online today on places like YouTube. And people in comment sections and fan communities are still talking about the evidence, sharing theories, and posting their own similar experiences decades later. Shows that came after, like Ghost Hunters, where regular people use gadgets to check old buildings, or modern streaming series that revisit unsolved cases with a mix of facts and storytelling, owe a little something to the path Sightings helped clear back in the 1990s. It proved there was a real audience for thoughtful, non-sensational looks at the unexplained, and that proof helped open doors for the mystery content we enjoy today. Behind all the glowing TV screens and memorable music, the people who made Sightings worked really hard with budgets that were smaller than big Hollywood productions. They had to be creative and smart about how they spent their time and money, and they worked hard to make sure the investigations felt fair. Tim White often shared in interviews that the main goal was to explore and share these mysteries with viewers, not to prove or disprove everything once and for all. That humble and honest approach is probably one of the biggest reasons the show lasted nearly 6 years and built such deep trust with its audience. Henry Winkler's genuine enthusiasm and Hollywood experience helped make the episodes look polished and feel exciting, while the music and graphics created an atmosphere of cosmic wonder without ever crossing into pure fear territory. For younger viewers especially, the show quietly showed that you can be fascinated by mysteries without having to be scared of them. You can listen to someone else's story with kindness, even if you're not completely sure you understand or agree with everything. You can ask big questions about the universe and still enjoy science and learning the next day at school. Those are lessons that can stay with you for a long time after the TV gets turned off. So what really happened to Sightings in the end? It lived a full and meaningful life during a special moment in television history. It started as one brave special full of curiosity, grew into a weekly series that families looked forward to every Friday, adapted when networks changed their plans, found new homes on cable, and left behind reruns, special episodes, a movie, books, and a whole generation of people who still carry a little extra wonder because of it. Its ending on weekly television wasn't because it failed or ran out of stories. It was simply the natural rhythm of TV, where even the most beloved programs eventually make room for new voices and new ideas to shine. But the invitation. Sightings extended to viewers to keep an open mind while searching for truth and evidence never really went away. And that's the complete story of Sightings. It was a show that proved television could be both entertaining and thoughtful at the same time. If you love exploring these kinds of mysteries with me, make sure to subscribe to Ghost Line for more stories just like this one.
What we all hope to be true is in fact possible. Our loved ones can reach us.
Ghostline. What's your favorite paranormal story?
It's time to begin.